The Hawker Siddeley HS 748 is a British turboprop airliner developed in the 1950s. Originally the Avro 748, it became the HS 748 following the company's merger with Hawker Siddeley. From the outset, the HS 748, sometimes called the Hawker, was envisioned as a Douglas DC-3 replacement, able to carry between 40 and 48 passengers. With that in mind, the HS 748 was designed as a simple, rugged airframe that could easily use short, unpaved runways. It saw service with countless operators around the world, including many in remote areas. The last HS 748s were produced in 1988, with 262 built in the UK, plus another 89 under license in India. Compared to today's turboprops, one of the most, arguably distinctive qualities of these planes is the sound of the two Rolls-Royce Dart engines that power the type. Today, it remains in military service with several countries, and a considerable number still fly with the Indian Air Force. When it comes to civilian operators, though, the HS 748 is trickier to find. Of course, as with many rare airplanes featured on this channel over the years, a few of them are still flying in Canada. Unlike some other rarer types in the country, though, these planes aren't found as far north as you'd think, but the destinations they serve are still very remote. As of late 2022, there are just 2 airlines still flying the HS 748 in Canada. One of those is Wasaya Airways of Ontario, which has 4 of the type on the Canadian Aircraft Register. The other is Air Quebec, which flies in both Ontario and Quebec, with 3 HS 748s registered. 2 of those still fly on a regular basis. In the case of both airlines, the HS 748s are exclusively used for cargo, with a maximum payload of around 12,500 pounds. Wasaya flies theirs out of Red Lake and Pickle Lake in Ontario, serving 25 First Nation communities in northwestern Ontario as well as northern Manitoba. One of their HS 748s is dedicated to hauling fuel, and can deliver 7,500 liters at a time. Air Quebec, on the other hand, flies their Hawkers to communities along the James Bay coast. Both planes operate from Air Quebec's base in Timmins, Ontario. These First Nation communities served by both airlines often have no year-round access by road, if any road access at all. In that way, Air Quebec and Wasaya's Hawkers, along with their other aircraft types, are well and truly a lifeline. On top of that, the runways in these communities are almost all 3,000 to 4,000 feet long and mostly made of gravel, and so the HS 748's rugged design and short takeoff and landing capabilities really shine. In addition to the Hawker's impressive performance, both airlines have at least one of the type with a large cargo door. That makes it ideal for flying bulky pieces of cargo like construction materials. Given how capable these planes are, it's not hard to see why a few have remained in service, especially here in Canada. The HS 748 has a storied history with many Canadian airlines, such as Westwind, Comair, First Air, Air Inuit, and until surprisingly recently, Air North. Air North was the last operator of the type in the territories, having first added the HS 748 to the fleet back in 1998. True to their original purpose, these replaced DC-3s at the airline and could carry double their payload. For the next 2 decades, the HS 748 served Yukon's communities, often as combis carrying both passengers and cargo. During their last couple of years at Air North, they too were flying cargo only. Air North's last 2 airworthy HS 748s left Whitehorse for good in December 2020 and January 2021. Both planes were flown to Thunder Bay via Edmonton to join Wasaya, and one of them is still in service. Now, as useful as the Hawkers are, the 5 or so currently flying in the country date back to the late 1960s and 70s, and the time has since come to start considering their replacement. Air North opted to replace their Hawkers with a small fleet of ATR-42s, with 3 passenger ATR-42-300s and a 4th one used as a freighter. Meanwhile, Wasaya has made it no secret that the Hawkers are expensive to operate. Considering the type has been out of production for almost 4 decades, parts are difficult to come by, with their CEO saying in 2016 that the wait for certain parts had been months at a time. Operating costs are no doubt another major concern. In 2017, Wasaya added a Dash 8-100 package freighter to their fleet, and at the time, that aircraft was stated to be 40% the operating cost of the Hawker. According to Wasaya, the Dash 8-100 can carry a pretty comparable payload of 10,000 pounds, but with obviously much less volume and without that larger cargo door. That being said, in May of this year, Wasaya announced the acquisition of 2 ATR-72-200 freighters with large cargo doors, and will use these to partially replace the Hawkers. The 2 ATR-72s were formerly flown for Hawaiian, and were expected to enter service this fall. In the case of Air Quebec, as far as I can tell, nothing's been said publicly about a replacement for their Hawkers. Anecdotally though, it's rumored that one of the 2 will be retired and likely used for parts at some point. Air does have a significant Dash 8 operation and flies over a dozen of them, so it's possible that a Dash 8 freighter of some sort may be their solution. On that note, former HS 748 operator Air Inuit went a different route. Initially, their Hawkers were replaced with two cargo-only Dash 8 300s that kept the same cargo door as the passenger version. With the wide variety of cargo that gets flown to northern communities though, not having the Hawker's larger door made things challenging. So Air Inuit's solution was to modify one of their Dash 8 300s with a large freighter door, and a second Dash 8 is expected to receive this modification too. Given all this, it seems that the HS 748 stays in Canada are unfortunately numbered. Nevertheless, it's a testament to the fine work of Avro and Hawker Siddeley that the type has persisted for as long as it has. Well over half a century after it left the drawing board, the Hawker Siddeley HS 748 still has an important role to play for countless communities. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.